Okay, I guess we're live now. Let me just post everywhere. You know the drill. By now, we haven't been doing this a very long time, but we do know what needs to be done. So here we go. Okay. Google Plus, as always, what is the point? But here we go. And I think we have posted everywhere we need to post. There we go. Okay, great. So let's introduce the show. Welcome everybody. My name is Abnormal, and this is the Ministry of Abnormality Twitch broadcast. Today is Monday, October 26th of 2015. We're starting a week, so let's start it right with a nice bit of artwork. Let's open Manga Studio here and get ourselves to work. We are still working on the Black Dragon Commission. I took the liberty to push it a little bit forward during the weekend. What can I say? I just can't stop. You know, you just have to. I just had to continue working a little bit. So yeah. Let's scratch ourselves. I'm scratching myself with my feet, by the way. Not any disgusting kind of scratching. So, okay, here's our current situation with this image. Let's get a little bit of music for my ears, not yours. You guys don't get to have music. Well, you can have your own music. But it's not going to be as good as mine. Okay, wait, no, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Let's relocate all these windows. There we go. Everything's nice. Okay. So as you can see here, we've got our image. We kind of pushed it a little bit forward during the weekend, and I think it's looking awful nice. I'm happy with what we got here. Kind of gave it a little bit more skeletons and stuff like that. Hello, Pixie. How are you? You have something on your face. Let me just get that. Well, as always, we also have the delightful and beautiful company of Pixie, the snowy white cat, with us. And please, let's not do the whole sharpen our claws on the monitor thing today. Let's not fight. Let's not fight. You know they hate it when Mom and Dad fight. No, I said no. Come on. I just said no. Are you gonna... What are we gonna have today? Hmm? What situation are we going to have today? Okay. So. Let's get to work. Now, today I'm going to be drawing scenery. Not sure how much fun that's going to be to watch. So hopefully we'll have a lot of audience participation today. You know, we can talk about anything you want. In the meantime... good morning, Yodel. Yes. We are Twitch's cutest couple, right, Pixie? Oh, you're very silent today. What? What's up? What's up? You look very sleepy. Why do you suppose that is, Pixie? Why do you look so sleepy? Ah, good morning, Mao. How are you today? How are those finals coming along? It's here where I live, students are in their finals, so it's an interesting time. Let's open a window with the larger file so people can see a more zoomed out version of what we're doing here. There we go, something like that. So, let's see. Okay, so how was everybody's weekend? Oh, okay. Yodel says summertime just entered in my time zone. So what? You have a like that daylight savings bullshit also? I've always thought that's kind of stupid. So yeah. So how was everybody's weekend? I'll tell you about mine. After all, this is kind of a monologue anyway. So, it was an interesting weekend. On Friday, I did my first live Let's Play, and I came up with an idea I think is pretty awesome. I'll tell you about it later. An idea for my videos and... Oh, good morning, Bon. I came up with an idea for my videos and stuff, and I'll tell it to you guys later. Since, you know, we're kind of like family now. But yeah, in any case, on Friday, for those of you that were here to watch, I did my very first Let's Play. Playing Mirror's Edge. I think it went reasonably well, except for the fact that we discovered that my bandwidth can't really handle games that are fast. Which, in the case of Mirror's Edge, is quite an inconvenience. So after I finished the broadcast, I kind of just finished the game on my own, because I love it. And then I uninstalled it. Like, I didn't really see any point to keeping it installed. If it's not going to work with my broadcast, I don't see what the point is of you know, I'm not going to continue broadcasting Mirror's Edge if it can't be shown right. But I did come up with an idea. So, wait a minute. Let's see. Wait a minute. Okay, so, anyway. So I finished that, and I was having, like, an idea, and normally when I'm, like, brainstorming, I like to walk around the house, right? I just like to kind of go around the house, I walk, or I take a shower, or sometimes I even go out for a walk here where I live. Fortunately, I'm lucky enough to live in a pretty calm neighborhood. It's not like a rich neighborhood or anything like that. It's actually quite the opposite. But it's calm. It's calm, and people here are nice, and so you can just walk for a while if you feel like it. So, but this time I just walked around my house, right? I walked around my house, and while I was doing that, I got a call from my girlfriend, which, when I'm talking on the phone, I also walk around the house. I'm pretty sure a lot of you do that, too. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that walks when he's on the phone. So anyway, this is relevant because... Thank you, please. I'm walking around the house, and on my walk, I go into my room, into my bedroom. So I go into my bedroom and, you know, I go in, I go out, walk, when suddenly I step into a puddle. Now, I'm very used to stepping into puddles in my house because of the comic you saw on Friday. That comic is absolutely 100% true. There's always puddles in my house because Raijin is always spilling the water. But never in my room, so that was weird. So I step in a puddle, I look, and there's a huge puddle. My room is actually flooded. Like, the entire floor is a puddle of water. I'm like, what the? So at first I think, like, oh no, you know, the bathroom. So I run to the bathroom, and while I'm going to the bathroom, a drop of water, like, falls on my face. Like, what the fuck? And I look up, and the entire ceiling is covered. Well, not covered because it's a ceiling, so you can't be covered. Well, the entire ceiling, because the under part of the ceiling, that's stupid. Okay, the entire ceiling has drops of water, like just water all over my ceiling, and it's dripping down. And seriously, it's like it's raining inside of my room. Now, my first reaction was, I've seen this before. I've seen this happen before, and it happened once when I took a shower in my bathroom, shower with hot water, and maybe I took too long in the shower or whatever, and like the steam kind of condensates outside on the on the ceiling, and you sometimes get that, but not that bad. And besides, I wasn't in the shower, so how was that even possible? So after I checked my bathroom to make sure it wasn't that, like, this thing is getting worse. And it's like raining inside my room, drops of water falling all the time. And so I think to myself, okay, the apartment above me, I live on a first floor of a 5-story building. The apartment above me is flooding. That's what's going on. So I call, I call like the building. What do you call that in English? Well, anyway, the guy's like in charge of security, and they come to my apartment before going to the apartment upstairs, and we're talking like midnight, right? This is not, this is not like in the afternoon or anything like that. This is midnight. So they come into my apartment, they take like photos and stuff like that, and then they're like, okay, now let's go to the other apartment. I had to come here first to make sure that there was actually something, going on. Which makes a lot of sense, okay. So I go with them, like, I'm like, no, shit, I'm not missing this, because imagine this. This is, I don't know how it is where you guys live, but here, where I'm from, buildings and construction are made of brick and concrete. We don't make our apartment floors out of wood. We don't have plaster walls. No. These buildings where I live are 100% brick and concrete. There's not a single plank of wood in this structure. This is all brick and concrete. All of it. Brick, steel, and concrete. No wood. None of those things. No plaster walls. Nothing like that. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, if the apartment up, above mine flooded to a point where it's raining in my house, that apartment has to be flooded, like, insanely flooded. That apartment has to be like they're gonna open the door and just this huge tidal wave is gonna come out. But the reality of it is that we went to the apartment, we banged on the door for about 10 or 15 minutes, and there was no answer. So, I was like, so, what do we do? I can't just stay like this. I can't just stay with my apartment raining inside of it. And I see Yodel in the chat room asking, how do you even soak it enough to get through the floor? Well, that's actually where the story comes to, and it's okay. What we did then was we just kind of closed their water from outside, because you can do that. Like, you can go to the buildings. The building has this kind of a place where you can close like the water for different apartments and stuff like that from outside. And so we closed their water, and we're just like, okay, when they come back, because nobody's home. We'll see what happens. And in the meantime, like, I can just suck it. You know, I have to wait for whatever's going on there to stop. You know, for whatever's going on in their apartment to stop and dry. And in the meantime, my apartment is just still going to rain. And so it did. It rained until about 5 a.m. So that was not a fun night. But here's the thing. Weekend went by. They still haven't showed up. They still haven't showed up. And this weekend, it was very weird that they weren't here, because this weekend was elections here where I live. Now, here where I live, there's some laws when there's elections, and when there's elections, like that weekend, you can't drink out in public, like you can't drink on the streets, which normally you can do here. And you can't leave the metropolitan area. Like, you're not allowed to leave the metropolitan area. You have to stay in. This is to avoid people from going to vote in other places that are not, like, where they're supposed to vote and stuff like that. So anyway, I just kind of waited until 5 a.m. I, like, moved the bed out of the way, like, moved everything out of the way, set towels all over the floor, and just kind of waited it out. But then, like, the next day, nothing happened, and I would keep on going outside to see if, like, their water was already on, or if, like, they had come home. I went several times during the weekend to knock on their door, to no answer. And today I started thinking, like, okay, there's one of two possibilities. Okay, in order for that to soak through a concrete floor, that water had to be there for a very long time. So there's that. And on the other hand, also, they're not supposed to have left their the city this weekend. So now I'm thinking, what if they're actually there? Like, what if they are home? What if something happened? So I went to today, you know, since it was Monday, like the building manager, you know, his office was open, so I went there and told him about the situation and asked him, like, you know, do they have somebody, like a number we can call or something? Because I'm starting to worry that maybe they are home and something happened to them. And, like, well, if that's the case, they're totally dead, because, you know, it's been 3 days. So, you know, there's no way. But, I mean, it's nervous laughter. It's nervous laughter. So, I don't know. I mean, like, that's the apartment right above me. I still don't know what happened. I still haven't heard anything from the building manager or anything like that. But, yeah, that was my weekend. Okay. So yeah, that was my weekend. My weekend was, and yeah, like I'm waiting to see what ends up, what that story ends up as, because, yeah, you know, the building manager said, okay, we'll look into it, we'll call, we'll see if they're home, we'll see, you know, their whatever information they left us to contact in case of an emergency, and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, they still haven't showed up. So, who knows? Maybe during the broadcast I'll have to stop for a while to go see what's going on, or maybe they'll call me to you know, tell me something or whatever. So don't be surprised if that happens. I really hope nothing happened to them. I'm not a very good neighbor. I love Yodel's comment in the chat room. That probably what happened is that they had a leaky faucet and they just freaked out. Like, if water leaks in your apartment, run for your life. They saw a leaky faucet and they just decided to abandon it while they could. They're hiding in some shelter somewhere. People asking them what happened, and they're saying, "Oh, my apartment had a leak." Yes, I am totally in agreement. At least it didn't happen in my computer room. At least it happened in, you know, in the bedroom where there's only a bed and clothes, and that's it. Uh, I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see what's been going on there. It's very weird, and I really hope nothing happened. I'm not a very good neighbor. I don't really know who my neighbors are, except for a couple of them, like the ones that I see, so the ones that live on my floor and stuff like that. But I don't really know the people that live in that second floor right above me. I don't know who lives there. But I suspect it's this old man that I see a lot riding his bicycle. He like rides his bicycle every single day, and I'm not sure if he's the one that lives above me. I'm kind of like every single day I see him pass by outside my office window on his bicycle. Not like to go to work or anything. He's like a cyclist. He wears a sports uniform and he goes out, and I don't know how long he goes every day, but every single day he goes out on his bike. And I'm definitely hoping to see him pass by today. I'm hoping he's not. I think he's the one that lives in that apartment, but I hope he isn't. Because he's like the nicest. I mean, I've never spoken to him, but he's like super nice. And I see him on his bike every day. I hope nothing happened to him. Yeah, I suppose good neighbors still exist. It's not. I suppose. I'm just not a very neighborly. I'm not a bad neighbor. I'm not particularly noisy, not like the neighbors from front. I don't yell things at the balcony, not like the people from the building in front. I don't let my kids go out and bother other people. I don't have any kids. That's also another part of my solution to that. But I'm not neighborly. I just don't bother people, but I'm not exactly the type of person that tries to socialize with his neighbors. So, yeah, it's I just kind of hope that he, I don't know if he's the guy that lives up there or anything like that, but, I kind of hope it isn't him. We'll have to wait and see what's going on. So yeah, that was my weekend, and yesterday I just kind of worked a little bit on this image. And that was my weekend. So, what did you guys do? Oh, I see in the chat room, Yodel saying that kind of stuff can get pretty moldy. Oh yeah, my bedroom ceiling is ruined. It's all filled with bubbles now, and it's getting moldy already. Fortunately, I rent. So, that is a big, heaping dose of not my problem. After the broadcast is over, after lunch, I have to go to the real estate agency and just kind of report the problem, tell them what happened. I took photos, fortunately. I remembered to take photos. So I just have to go, tell them like the situation, tell them, look, this and that happened, show them the photos, and the owner, the landlord will take care of it. It's his problem. It's his apartment. So yeah, interesting weekend. Oh, I also did some makeup this weekend. But then again, it's that time of year again, Halloween. I get some makeup appointments. I'll show you photos of the makeup I did as soon as I'm allowed to. The person I did the makeup, normally when they come to have their makeup done, they don't come with the clothes that they're going to be wearing. They come with, like, whatever. So her costume wasn't complete while she was here and I was doing her makeup. So she asked me the favor to please not show the photos yet until she sent me photos with the actual costume on. So as soon as I get those photos, I'll show you guys some of the makeup I did this weekend. And I also have a lot of makeup appointments for next weekend too. So for example, next Friday there's not going to be a Let's Play, because next Friday I'm going to be doing somebody's makeup. And Saturday, I also have a possible appointment to do some makeup and stuff like that. So, it's a lot of fun, and it's a few extra bucks. So, Mao Draws says, "Oh, this is golden." Okay, Mao Draws says, "I went to my friend's graduation party on Friday and actually got a little drunk for the first time ever. I got into interesting Facebook conversations when I got home." Ah, man, you drunk texted? Don't do that. Okay, Mao, is there anybody you would like to publicly apologize to, or did you behave? Were you the lucky kind of Facebook drunk that didn't do anything embarrassing? I'm curious. Did you embarrass yourself, or were you good? Are you lucky enough to have been good? Is more of the question here. In the meantime, Yodel says that they watched some of the 48-hour extra life stream from the Geek and Sundry fan base. Okay, I don't really know what that is, but okay, sure. Sounds... You told a bunch of people that you love them? But is this like nice, relaxed love? Like, you know, hey man, just wanted to say I love you? Or was this like you told like a crush that you love her or something like that? You know, what kind of love are we talking about? Friendly love or romantic love? Scenery. I love it, but I don't think it's very fun to watch. I'm sorry. But it has to be done. It's not optional. Okay, so while I get answers in the chat room, okay, just friendly love. Just friendly love, but you almost wrote your crush something, but you just weren't drunk enough. Well, lucky you. Lucky you. Well, who knows? Maybe it would have been a good idea to get drunk enough to write something to your crush. You never know. Maybe that's what's needed. A little push in the right direction. For romantic love. Grrr. I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that. I know it's too erotic. Okay, let's see what we got here. Now, Valen says, my weekend was rather boring by comparison. I installed a workshop light and had lunch with my mom and spent most of yesterday reinstalling my Intuos tablet drivers. Oh, but that's not that boring, because that means that you're going to get back into... Wait. Is this like a long-awaited return to the arts, or is it just maintenance? Like, you just had to reinstall the drivers? Because if we're talking about an artist that is coming back to the arts, then it is a joyous occasion and worthy of celebration. But if it's just like, no, you just needed to kind of do some maintenance on your tablet, well then, okay, good for you. Mao says that he doesn't think that a drunk love text is a push in the right direction at 2 a.m. But then again, I don't get drunk, so what do I know? Well, Mao, it's been a long time since I've had something to drink. We're talking maybe more than some of the people watching this have been born. that's how long ago I haven't had anything to drink. But I don't know. Some people are pretty eloquent when they're drunk. Like not me. When I was drunk, I was horrible. I was not eloquent at all. But some people are pretty eloquent when they're drunk. You know, some people can hold their own. So I don't know which one you are. I will say this though, I do hate graduations. And now everybody's saying like, wow, how can you hate graduations? Here's the thing. Facebook has made me hate so many things that I didn't hate before. I hate it when people go on vacations. I hate it when people graduate. I hate it when people have a baby. I hate it when people get married. I hate everything. And the reason I do is because... Wait. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. The person that said that a drunk text at 2 a.m. is not a good idea was Yodel, not Mao. But I don't think Mao drinks either. So, wow, this is just like a broadcast of a bunch of people that don't drink. Okay, cool. That can be our new thing. So anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. Okay, Vaughn says, it's been a while since I've drawn. I have trouble bouncing back and forth between various kinds of projects. Program a game, then get bored 3 weeks later, put together a woodworking project, then not touch my tools for several weeks, doodle on a sketch pad, thinking up ideas for my old webcomic, then realize I haven't drawn in forever and need to get back to where I was. Yeah, I can understand that. You know, it's a, no, I think it's just kind of a process, you know, while you kind of find that thing that you don't get tired of, that thing that you suddenly find yourself saying like, hey, you know, I never keep up with any of these things, but this one seems relatively easy to keep up with. You know, or maybe it just wasn't the time when you started on those things. You know, there's so many reasons. Don't feel bad or anything. You know, there's so many reasons to not continue something. Most of the time it has nothing to do with you. It's just life. Life gets in the way. Of course, you know, I'm not giving you bad advice here. You can't let life get in the way. You have to basically make your own rules and make your own conditions and not let life kind of call the shots. But it's nothing to feel bad about. So I'm glad you reinstalled your Tools tablet. I hope you get a lot of work done with it. I hope it results in a great idea that you follow through with. And if not, well, it'll come along. Oh, you made a first-person walking simulator in Unity. Wow, that's awesome. Tell me something, Yodel. You knew coding like beforehand, right? Because like otherwise I'm just gonna feel bad. I'm just gonna feel bad because I haven't done anything yet. I haven't made anything, so please tell me you had some prior knowledge, and that's why you're already making first-person walking simulators in Unity. see. Wow, this broadcast is very laggy today. Oh, okay, okay. Woo! So Yodel says that, you know, they've been studying programming and math for the last 7 years or so. Oh, great, I don't feel so bad anymore. I was like, oh, no. I've been checking this out for, like, a couple of weeks, and this guy just said that he was starting to look at Unity, like, last week, and now he's doing a walking simulator? Like, why am I so stupid? No. You've been doing it for a while. Okay. Okay, I can breathe now. I was a little afraid for my brain's quality. I was about to call, ask for a warranty on my brain. Okay, so actually, that reminds me of one of the projects I have. I'm not going to tell you guys what the project is, basically, because I don't want to jinx it. But I was I'm going to tell you a little bit about like what I have planned, but I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, because, like I said, I want it to be like something. I don't want to like show my hand before I actually have something to show with it. But I did want to ask you guys, okay, so what I have planned involves video games and you know, and my work as an artist. So I was thinking, okay, how should I do this? Like, I can record, like, when I broadcast to Twitch, I can record. So, like, but these are videos I would have to edit on, you know, here at home before they're actually ready to be the final product that I want them to be. So what do you guys think? Like, what would be the best idea here? To, like, kind of record the game live, to kind of record the stuff without, like, any of the elegance on Twitch, and then when I have the final product uploaded on YouTube? You guys think, like... Yeah, because the project I have in mind is something that requires editing. Not, hopefully not too heavy editing, because, you know, I'm not a video editor, so... Okay, this can kind of fade off. Yes. On Twitch it would be kind of like a behind-the-scenes thing where you guys see me like playing the video game and gathering all the stuff that I need to kind of make the video. Well, this week is the final week at the university, and thank fucking God, I am tired of this semester. It's not a bad semester, like, the students are okay, I like them well enough. But it happens to the students, and it also happens to us teachers. By the end of the semester, you're just sick of it. Just like, okay, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm not tired. Like, I'm not tired of work. And I actually laugh at students that are tired. I'm sorry, Mao, if that's you. Mao is not my student this semester, but he is a student at the university this semester. So I'm sorry if you're one of those students that says you're tired. I always laugh at students. I always laugh at students that say that they're tired at the end of the semester, because I always think, yeah, dude, you have no idea. Like you have no idea what it is to actually work. You don't have even a clue. Like, you know, most students think that they're working hard. Trust me. Like, you ain't done nothing yet. You don't know what it's like. So I always laugh, like, when students are like, oh, it's the end of the semester, I need a vacation. And I'm like, oh, man, it's gonna be so satisfying when life welcomes you into what it is to actually work. And I say this as a guy that's got it pretty easy. Like I make a moderate living. Okay, I barely make a living. Okay, I'm starving, but you know, I draw. That's what I do. So, you know, my job is relatively easy. But it's so funny. Like, they're always like, "Oh, I'm tired. I've worked so hard." I'm like, you have no idea what it's like to work hard yet. Yeah, that's nothing. But still, anyway, yeah, students are tired because, you know, they have little frail student minds that are tired. And of course, we teachers are also sick and tired of the semester. We can't wait for it to be over either. Personally, I just have like a bunch of projects. I have a bunch of projects in my head that I want to work on, and I want to work on them now. And it's frustrating because, like I spoke last week, I have all these classes that I'm teaching right now. Almost every day of the week, I teach a class. And it takes away, you know, it takes away time from what you want to be doing. Right now, I want to be doing these broadcasts. I want to be making this new project that I have in mind. I want to be studying Unity. I want to be experimenting on making a video game. I have all these ideas in my head of stuff that I want to do. Plus, I got emails. Oh man. I got a backlog of emails that I haven't answered that kind of even has me worried. Wait, what's this? Is this the... Oh, okay, I see. Wait, how does... Wait, I'm adjusting my... There we go. This is better. Okay. So I have a handful of emails and stuff that I just can't... What's going on here? Okay, wait. Sorry, I'm adjusting a little bit of video here. You know, the webcam, all that kind of stuff. So, okay, this is... It's interesting because you can see in the back that there's a mirror. So this screen right here that you can see, this is my secondary screen. Wait. So what have we got here? How do I exit full screen? Come on, let me go. Okay, there we go. So what happens when I go into... Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I'm kind of having a little bit of experimentation here. I have, okay. Okay, that works. So anyway, okay, where was I? So anyway, yeah, it's like I just have all these things I want to work on, and having to go to the university almost every day really kind of puts a big wrench in my gears. Takes away time and stuff like that. And at the beginning of the semester, it's not that bad because at the beginning of the semester, these are like new students and everything's exciting and all that kind of stuff. But by the end of the semester, you are sick and tired of these people. Not all of them, though. Some of my students I love dearly. Some of my students are awesome people. A lot of them are not. I'm sorry, but it's true. And if you're a student right now listening to this, please try to understand. Yes, some of you are little shits. And if your teacher hates you, trust me, maybe you are actually a little shit. So anyway, yeah, some of my students are little shits, and by this point, I'm just kind of like, okay, about half of these people I enjoy, and I would keep on teaching them classes if they wanted me to. But more than half of these people I just never want to see again. So at this point of the semester, when we're just 1 week away from ending, it's like, okay, come on. This I can't wait for this week to be over. I can't wait to have the time to work on my own personal projects, on the stuff that I want to be doing and all that kind of stuff. I have a backlog of emails of people asking for commissions that I have not answered, and now I'm afraid that maybe I'll answer some of those emails and they'll be like, not interested anymore. So, yeah, there's that. But, it's, let's save. Okay, let's let it save. So yeah, that's kind of the situation with the university and work right now. It's kind of like just waiting for that. There's also the gym. I've been going to the gym for 3 months. I found a very cheap gym that I can afford, even though I can't afford a lot of stuff. You can't stop exercising and taking care of your body. So here's the funny thing is, I've been paying this gym and barely going. I've been going like once a week or something. And I feel like that's a big waste of money and also a big waste of time. So I'm also looking forward to finishing the semester so I can actually start going to the gym every day and kind of getting in shape. This Tuesday, November 3rd, as I had told you all last week, there's not going to be a live broadcast because that is the day that my students deliver their final assignment. They hand in the finals. So I'm going to be at the faculty kind of dealing with that. And also this November 3rd, Tuesday, November 3rd, is also a very interesting day for me because that is the day I have an appointment with the gym nutritionist. Basically, so she can tell me that in the 3 months since I started the gym, I've gone like 10 times, maybe. And also, so she can probably give me a diet. So next week, I'm probably going to start being on a diet. And yeah, that should be interesting. I'm not used to dieting. I'm used to eating whatever I want, but hey, I'm not getting any younger, so it's probably time to start watching what I eat. And, well, I plan to be very strict with it. I plan to be like one of those people that doesn't break diet. Then again, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, so we'll have to see how that works out. So, yeah, that's kind of like what my life has been this weekend. Quite a rant, isn't it? But, working on these scenery things, you don't really have to think much. You just have to kind of... It's just line work. And I love it. I love it because, I love detailed lines and all this kind of stuff. But, it's kind of very absent-minded. You don't have to be thinking a lot about what you're doing. Just... Well, I don't know what kind of diet I'm going to get. I am going to, I do have to sit down and talk to the nutritionist and come up with a diet that's good for me. I'm looking to burn fat and get muscle. I want to be... I don't want to be this huge guy, but I do want to have, good muscle definition and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the gym is just, 2 blocks from my house. So it's something I can feasibly be disciplined with without it interfering too much in my life. My initial plan for a schedule, as soon as university's out, is to broadcast in the morning for you guys, in the afternoon go to the gym, and then broadcast again in the evening. So it's going to be, I'm not exactly planning to take a vacation or anything as soon as university's out. I'm planning to actually work harder. So it's something to look forward to on my part. But anyway, I'm going to talk to the nutritionist. Yodel says that any diet, if you're not used to it, causes gas. Yeah, I've never been on a diet, but I have had dietary changes. And yeah, it does. It also causes constipation. I remember when I was a vegetarian for 14 years. Very strict. No meat for 14 years. And when I started eating meat again, holy shit, I didn't shit. For like a couple of weeks. It was like a couple of weeks of nothing. And yeah, the farting was insane. So we'll have to see how that works out. But when I talk to my nutritionist, I am going to tell her, okay, hit me the hardest that you can. I'm willing, I'm committed, I'm in 100%. Let's do this shit. Let's get some results. Hit me the hardest you can. And it'll be an exercise in willpower, but it's something I want to prove to myself that I can do. And again, I know better than to make a lot of plans with willpower as the deciding factor, so we'll have to see how that goes. Okay, so those are my stories. Tell me, people, what questions would you like answered? Ask me anything. Give me a new topic to talk about. You know me, I can talk for hours, just give me a topic. This image is huge. Oh crap. Okay, come on. Let's keep going. Oh, it's going to be so satisfying when I'm finally coloring this image. But okay, come on. Hit me with a question. Yes, I did kind of do this to myself, but man, I get paid for it. So, I'm not complaining. I am complaining, but not in that way. So, it's fun to complain. Have I thought about teaching via online courses as opposed to MeetSpace? It's funny you should ask that, because the course I teach at the university is 50% online. I think that to teach stuff like Photoshop and all that kind of thing, it's better if you do that in a virtual environment, because the person watching can see your screen and you're in the comfort of your own home, and I'm in my own computer, which I can handle much more, with much more kind of dexterity than a computer at the university. Those university computers are always horrible. They're always filled with malware and stuff like that, and viruses and all that kind of stuff, and they barely work anyway. And here at home I have my Cintiq tablet and all that. So the course I already teach at the university is half online. We do meet at the university, the students and me, to kind of review their assignments and stuff like that. But the part where I teach, I do that online. Now, as for doing it for like the general audience, I've thought about it, but I have to admit I'm very insecure about that, because there's a lot of courses available online from people that are like brilliant. Bobby Chu has his school online. And this is the kind of thing that I know, you know, I'm not bad. You know, I'm good. I'm not here saying that I'm not a good artist. I'm good. But, you know, not sure I can offer something way better than him. Still, it is funny you would ask that, because just last night I was sleeping and I got a notification from YouTube that somebody had left a comment on one of my videos on YouTube. And I went and checked it out, and it was somebody saying that my YouTube video on Photoshop brushes was the best video on brushes, the best brush tutorial available on YouTube. And man, that was like, whew, that feels nice. I like that comment. So, you know, when you get those kind of comments, you do start thinking again, like, maybe I should start doing more tutorials and uploading them to YouTube again. And the thing is, with Twitch, now that I've discovered Twitch, and I know, Twitch has been here for a while, but I just discovered it, you know, for me. Now that I discovered Twitch, there's a lot of stuff I can do, like just do it on Twitch, and that's the video, and you know, you can upload it to YouTube. So I was thinking, oh, okay, you know, maybe that's a good... That's not the project I had, by the way. The project that I was telling you that I was not going to tell you about, that's not it. But I was thinking, like, hey, you know, maybe I can do some, like, you know, once or... You know, maybe once every now and then, do an actual tutorial video, record it on Twitch, and then just kind of upload it to YouTube. So, yeah, that might... You know, that's an idea I was toying around with. Mao, yes, I was a Bobby Chu's student online. I have met him in person. He is the nicest person you will ever meet. He is amazing. He's really, really nice. Both him and Kaya Severa are these incredibly nice people that make you feel welcome and make you, like, they always make you feel great when you talk to them. But as far as being his student is concerned, I've been his student online. Yeah, but they are the nicest people ever, and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, so anyway, yes, I have been thinking about online courses and stuff like that, but then I think about, okay, you know, because I have to, you know, there's really no way around it. You have to think about, okay, how is there a way I can make money off of this? Because, you know, as sad as that sounds, you have to survive. You know, you have to, you know, you have to pay the rent and buy food. So I'm like, okay, how can I make money off of this? And I don't know yet. I haven't figured out that part yet. I suppose sometimes it's just a matter of, like, that helping you build more of an audience for other things, I guess. I don't know. I have to think about it. But yeah, that is something I constantly toy around with in my mind. I also have to admit that, like, although I don't show it much, like everybody else, I also have my insecurities. You know, like, we all have them. I have mine too. You know, I normally don't come across as insecure. But, you know, I'm human. I have my own insecurities. And, of course, I also have my insecurities concerning, you know, the recording of videos and tutorials. You know, this kind of fear that if I record a tutorial on something on Photoshop or something like that and post it on YouTube, which I've done a couple of times, but, you know, nothing too big or nothing too special. I always kind of have this fear that as soon as I post a tutorial, somebody's going to come up and say, like, oh, like, this guy's full of shit, this guy's wrong, like, this doesn't work, this, you know, look at this other video, it's way better. And like I said, you know, I'm good at not letting it show, but like everybody else, I have my own insecurities. So I am, of course, afraid of that kind of uploading of a tutorial video to YouTube to have people, like, go, like, yeah, that's a piece of shit. Oh, okay. Voltus, hello. Good morning. I hope you had a great weekend. Um, Vaughn, maybe a Patreon stretch goal. You know, I have to be honest, I don't like stretch goals. I think that stretch goals are kind of like holding stuff for ransom. You know, like, it's holding your own ideas for ransom. I know it's not as black and white as that. I know that it's more complicated than that, and I know that the people that do stretch goals are probably not thinking about them that way. But it's the way they make me feel. It's the way stretch goals make me feel. I feel like I'm holding my own ideas for ransom. And I don't like that. You know, I feel like, okay, if I have an idea and I think it's good, I should just go ahead and do it. You know, I shouldn't have an idea and wait and see if people are going to give me enough money to act on my idea. If I have an idea, I should just do it. Again, you know, like, you guys, or at least those of you guys that have followed me for a while, know that I have bad experiences with crowdfunding. You guys know that Kickstarter is something I would not get into again. It would take a lot to get me to participate in another Kickstarter again in my life. It would take a lot. There is, like, I don't see many ways I would be willing to be a part of a Kickstarter anymore. I'm not saying it would never happen, because you never know what kind of project they will get invited into. But as it is right now, there's very, very little possibility of me ever getting into a Kickstarter again. I'm not into crowdfunding at all, and Patreon is one of those things that I use, and I love my Patreons, and I am very, very thankful to them. And like I've said before on this show, I'm waiting to that whole Universities Out thing so I can start generating content that is actually worthy of my Patreons, not just larger versions of the comic and videos that I don't show other people. Because that does happen. Like, sometimes I do artwork and I just kind of show those videos only to the Patreons, and that's it. But it's not enough. Like, you know, it's it's not enough. So I think my Patreons deserve more, and I most certainly would not want to set stretch goals to my Patreons, where people that have supported me, like, throughout a year where I've been financially very bad, and, you know, it's been a very bad financial year for me. I've spent most of the year without money, and you know, I mean, of course I've made money, but money to pay rent and buy food and stuff like that. But this year it hasn't been a good year in terms of prosperity. And my Patreons have been there for me. They've supported me in so many ways. Even when the Patreon has not been like this amazing value to them, these are people that are just really supporting me. They're not, I mean, they're not doing this in exchange for anything special that I'm offering them, because I haven't offered them anything special in return. So then, like, grabbing an idea and saying, okay, this is a Patreon stretch goal, I don't know, it kind of feels wrong. Now, Mao asks, what's wrong with Kickstarter? And Yodel asks, you wouldn't even get into a Kickstarter even if you're the only one who has to contribute. Okay. Mao, in answer to your question, what is wrong with Kickstarter? To be honest, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is wrong with Kickstarter. Kickstarter, I'm not going to say it's not doing well, because I really doubt it. You know, I really doubt that it's not doing well. I'm pretty sure Kickstarter is as profitable as ever and all that kind of stuff. But Kickstarter has, in many ways, gathered a lot of ill will from the audience throughout these past few years, and I'm part of that problem. You know, where I was. Scallywags, the company I was a part of, had his own problems with unfulfilled Kickstarters, and those problems never got solved. Those problems never got a solution to them. So, and we're not the only ones. Like, Kickstarter is just filled with that kind of stuff. Kickstarter has no way of guaranteeing you that the money you that the money you donated to this project is ever going to see that project actually being done. I've known of cases of people that just openly decided to not continue their Kickstarter project. Just like, you know what? You guys are not getting your money back, and I'm not working on this anymore. Goodbye. I've seen that. I've seen that in other projects, and I am personally a part of several Kickstarter failures. Projects on Kickstarter that never fulfilled what they were supposed to be, and never will. So I feel like it would not be right for me to be in a Kickstarter, even if it was my own Kickstarter. To answer your own question, even if it was my own project and stuff like that, I feel like it wouldn't be right to. I feel like I would be telling people, look, remember all those failed Kickstarters that you lost so much money on, that I was a part of? Yeah, forget about that. Let's. This is me now, and I'm doing something new. I don't really feel like that it would be the right thing to do. I think that's a little bit too much. As for Kickstarter in general, I think they need to start addressing these issues of people not fulfilling their Kickstarters. I think they need to start taking care of these things, because it's becoming more and more common. Oh, my nose itches. Sorry. It's becoming more and more common for Kickstarters to just fail. And I don't mean to fail the campaign, I mean to just kind of, they are successfully funded, and then they don't deliver on what they promised. And yeah, this is more and more common. Some very high-profile Kickstarters don't deliver on what they promised. There's a lot of argument to be had there. I am one of the people that believes that Broken Age... Again, I'm not a Kickstarter... I didn't fund this, so take this as you will, because I didn't fund it. I can't. I didn't fund it because I can't. Kickstarter doesn't take PayPal, and that's all I got. So I can't fund Kickstarters because it doesn't take PayPal. But still, I feel like Broken Age, for example, did not fulfill its promises. It did not. They promised a full game, and they delivered half a game. Yes, it is true that they did not ask the people that donated money to the Kickstarter for anything else. That is true. And like I said, I didn't put any money on this, so it's really none of my business. It's like, okay, mind your own business. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay, these guys definitely, they asked for a certain amount of money from people, and then when the time came, they realized that that money wasn't enough, and they had to get the money by other means. In this case, they had to have the first half of the game, fund the second half. And yeah, I think it's not a complete failure, but I think that it starts to show what the problem with Kickstarter is. And the problem with Kickstarter is that you're starting to give people that don't know how to handle money these huge budgets. And look, I'll be the first to admit, I have no idea how to handle a budget. I have no idea how to handle money. I can barely, handle myself. I'm definitely not able to handle the budget on a huge project. But I think it is time that we start to ask ourselves, like, okay, if a guy like Tim Schafer can't handle the budget for a game, a guy that's been making video games forever, a guy that made one of the arguably best video games ever, Psychonauts, if this guy can't handle it, what makes me think I can? You know, and maybe I have business sense, maybe all that kind of stuff, but I think there's a lot of questions that we have to start asking ourselves in regards to Kickstarters. Not just if this project is something I want to see, but I think that it's very important for us to start asking ourselves when we see a Kickstarter, not just if this is a good idea, but why? Why is this not getting money by other means? And I think that's a question we're not asking ourselves very much. Like when we see a video game or a comic book or any kind of project on Kickstarter asking for money, I think we need to start asking ourselves, okay, why didn't this project get money by other means? And yeah, I think it's a difficult question. I think it's a difficult question to ask, but I do think we should start asking ourselves this. Like, okay, when and sometimes we have to face some realities that are not like comfortable. I'm not saying that all Kickstarters are bad. Like, there's certainly some very good Kickstarters. I know that some of the games I want to play right now, some of the games I wish I could buy right now but I can't, are successful Kickstarters. I think Pillars of Eternity, maybe? You know, Pillars of Eternity, I think, was a successful Kickstarter. If not, then the other one. The one that's very much like Pillars of Eternity. I know one of those two, or both of them, I'm not sure, was a successful Kickstarter. I know Wasteland was a successful Kickstarter. I know there's a lot of successful Kickstarter stories, so I do believe that Kickstarter is a good thing. And I think that it's good that it exists, and I think that it's awesome. But I think it's awesome when we ask ourselves these questions, these difficult questions. Okay, this guy wants people to crowdfund his project. Let's stop for a minute and ask ourselves why this guy doesn't have money by other means. Why is it? And sometimes that will lead us to uncomfortable answers. You know, like, okay, Tim Schafer wants to make a point-and-click adventure game. But Tim fucking Schafer can't get the money to make a point-and-click adventure game. One of the people that has made some of the best point-and-click adventure games of all time, like Day of the Tentacle, can't get money to make a point-and-click adventure game. It's time we start asking ourselves, why? You know, why? Why hasn't this guy been able to get money for that? And I think, and I'm saying this from firsthand experience, because, you know, later on, in the aftermath of my own failed Kickstarters, I think to myself, yeah, you know, maybe we had no business with all that money in our hands. You know, after a certain budget, after a certain amount of money, that's for somebody that, that's for somebody that has studied, like an administrator or something like that. That's that kind of budget. After a certain amount of thousands of dollars, normal people shouldn't be handling those budgets. Those budgets are for people that know what they're doing. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Kickstarter. I think that we need to start asking ourselves more, harder questions. Why? Why doesn't anybody want to fund your movie? Why doesn't anybody want to fund your video game? Why do you need this money? Also, on the other hand, I think that there's a lot of value in games that were just kind of made without any money, just, by scraping along. Like, I look at games like Cave Story. Cave Story is a brilliant game, and it's just a guy that decided, hey, I want to make a video game, and so he did. I believe the guy that made Cave Story made it on his own for 5 years. He worked on this, like, in his spare time. And that's just the way he made the game. He made it, and that's it. Oh shit, Dust and Elysian Tale. It was also this one guy. He goes ahead and makes a video game on his own. Well, mostly on his own. He apparently got help at the end for the music and stuff like that. But he makes a video game mostly on his own, just working in his spare time, just putting in the extra effort for like 3 years. That's beautiful. And I love these games. I've played them. I bought them, and I love them. They're so good. Cave Story is a brilliant game. Dust is amazing that it was just the work of one guy. And these are people who were like, okay, I have a dream. Nobody's going to give me money for my dream, but fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and I think those products are better for it. But then we have these other people just going like, I don't, nobody wants to give me money, so you guys should give me money. And nobody asks themselves why. Yes, Yodel gives a great example in the chat room. Five Nights at Freddy's, whatever you think about it, you have to admire the creator for his amazing capacity to create so much in so short a time. I've read about this guy. This guy is amazing. He's incredible. He used to make games on his own. He used to make Christian games. And they all failed. I'm not going to get into why. I probably have a bunch of unsensitive jokes to make there, but let's not get into that. Anyway, the guy makes Christian games, and they all fail. And then he one time makes... Okay, anybody listening, in case you don't know, if you don't know what Five Nights at Freddy is, where have you been? First of all, if you're watching me on Twitch, you probably know what Five Nights at Freddy is. And if you're watching me on YouTube, how can you spend any time on YouTube and not know about Five Nights at Freddy's? But in any case, in case anybody doesn't know, Five Nights at Freddy's is an independent game made by just one guy. Again, when I say made by just one guy, there's probably other people involved in certain aspects, but it's basically made by one guy. And it is an incredibly huge success of a game, of which he's already published, I think, 5 of them or 4. I'm not exactly sure because I don't play them. They're really not my cup of tea, but that's irrelevant to this conversation. There's like 5 or 4 of them, and he's made them over the course of I think the last 2 years or something. It's amazing. It's a runaway success. The guy has done incredibly well because of it. I've read interviews with him. I don't know him personally, but I've read interviews of him, and he seems like a very down-to-earth, genuinely nice guy. And what happened was he used to make Christian video games. He's like a very hardcore Christian. And they all failed. Like, they were all real bad. And, I mean, they didn't just fail because of poor marketing. They were all, like, real bad. And one time he made a game that involved, like, these animals, like animatronic animals and stuff like that, or, just basically cute animals. But he failed at making the animals look cute. And the result was that he was told that the animals, like, he got a lot of comments from people saying that the animals were creeping them out. Like, that the characters in the game were super creepy. And that they were, like, creeping them out. So he kind of, instead of just going, like, Well, instead of just going like, oh, people are criticizing me, they're harassing me, or crying or giving up, the guy said like, so you think my stuff is creepy? He runs with it and creates Five Nights at Freddy with what he had done. You know, he took like those animals and stuff, and he makes Five Nights at Freddy's, and it is a huge success. I love this guy. Like, this is amazing. Like, I think that is a story that we should all be learning from. You know, getting criticized is not being harassed, and there's good that can come out of it. Like, you can get criticized and you can make something good out of it. This guy got very harsh criticism. He made a children's Christian game and he got told it was creepy. And he just said, well then, I'll make a creepy game. And so he did, and he is making money, serious money, off of it. Good for this guy. I do not play your game. I'm sorry I don't play your game. Not interested, but holy crap, congratulations, man. You are my hero. I love this guy, and I love his story. I love what he did. And that's why I think Kickstarter needs to be reevaluated. And the thing is, I don't even think it needs to be reevaluated from Kickstarter. I think we need to reevaluate the way we look at it. Yeah, so I think the problem is on our end. I don't think the problem is so much on Kickstarter's end. I think the problem is on our end, on how we consume this media and how we are so ready to accept these things. I do think that one of the main problems on the internet now is that nobody is willing to even consider the possibility that maybe you suck. You know, everybody, I mean, think about it. People have problems funding their projects. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. So, I mean, think about it. People have trouble getting funds. People have trouble getting money for their projects. How much ego do you have to have? Like, how full of yourself do you have to be to not even stop and consider the possibility that maybe you suck? You know, we live in this society where everybody's a precious little flower and nobody can be criticized, and this is what we get. We get projects that should not have been funded. We get people that we should not have given our money to making these projects and failing, and we knew they were going to fail, so why are we surprised? I know there's a certain sense of kind of hypocrisy involved because I have a Patreon. But at the same time, consider that you can take away your Patreon money. Patreon asks you every month if you want to pay. And you can just refuse. Like this, you can be my Patreon. You can be pledging hundreds of dollars to me, all you want. And this month, Patreon is going to ask you if you want to send me that money, and you can decide, no, you know what, no, he doesn't deserve that money this month and he's not getting it, and that's it. No questions asked. You know, I can write to you if I'm that kind of person, which I'm not, and ask you, like, what's the matter? Like, hey, you know, why didn't you send me money this month? I could do that. I'm not going to do it, though. But that's the difference. To me, that's the one of the biggest differences between Patreon and Kickstarter, and it's that at Patreon, you can decide that suddenly I don't deserve your money. And you don't even have to stop supporting me. Like, you can support me next month. For example, if this month you didn't have any money, if you had a rough month, you can decide not to support me. You can change your pledge. You can do all these things. And that's kind of the way it works. That's why, exactly, you know, if I did nothing this month, if this month I showed absolutely nothing to my audience can just go like, oh, so you're not getting any money? I mean, you're not doing what you said you were going to do, so why are we going to give you money? And that's the beauty of it, that people can take away their money from me if I don't answer to them. And that's kind of the way it works, and it's awesome that way. Kickstarter doesn't work that way. You gave me your money, I have the money, now all you have to do is sit and hope that I actually do my job. That I actually do with your money what I promised I was going to do with it, and that I don't spend it on something else, or just kind of mismanage it and end up asking for more money, or anything like that. But again, I think the problem is us. The problem is not so much Kickstarter. The problem is us and our attitude towards these things. The problem is that when somebody says, I don't have any money for our project, we always immediately jump to the conclusion, this guy should have money. Poor little flower. How are people not giving him money? And we never stop to ask ourselves, whoa, wait. Maybe they suck. You know, maybe the reason nobody wants to give you money is because your project sucks. Maybe it's not well presented. Maybe, like, if people whose job it is to make money didn't want to give you money, why am I giving you money? I do think Kickstarter, though, does need to solve something, and it's what Yodel says in the chat room. I do think that Kickstarter needs to solve the issue of accountability. Kickstarter does need to deal with that. Fortunately, there are some kind of precedents being set. I understand that there have been several cases of Kickstarters that got sued and actually had to pay people for mismanaged funds. And I think that's an issue that Kickstarter has to deal with. You can just run away with your Kickstarter money, and people are not going to be able to do anything about it. And I do think that is Kickstarter's problem. I do think that is something they have to solve. But again, I think the most important problem there is us. Is us and our inability to question things, and our inability to be questioned without crying harassment or abuse or any of those things. It's a sad state of affairs when nobody can even question you without them being the bad guy. I'm not denying that some people need to learn to say things. And I'm not denying that sometimes it is abuse. But normally it's just that you suck. And you should be stopping and looking at yourself in a mirror and asking yourself, wow, what can I do to improve? Then again, that touches on another problem we have, and it's that in this day and age, in this age of political correctness and internet, if people don't say stuff to us exactly the way we want them to be said, then they're no good. And that's the thing, if somebody says, fuck you, you suck, well, you can discard the fuck you. You don't have to pay attention to that part. Pay attention to the part where they said you suck, and work on that. The fuck you is irrelevant. If somebody says, you make crappy videos because of this and this and that, I hope you die. The I hope you die doesn't make the other part any less true. So we have to stop this attitude we have where if people don't say things exactly the way we want to hear them, then they're no longer valid. No. Just if this person has poor manners and doesn't know how to behave in society, That's their problem. You do you. Like, you take the criticism and make something good out of it. But then again, you know, that's just the way I feel about it. Well, Vaughn is right. Just being told you suck isn't very helpful. But that doesn't mean you can't, you know, look into it. You know, everybody, you know, people are going to tell you you suck, right? And just being told that you suck is not going to help you in any way. But it is going to at least let you know that there's a problem. You know, it's going to let you know that there's a problem and that maybe you can look into it. If you're constantly... If you're constantly... there's a... Best Kesolan. Yes, this is Manga Studio. I'm working on Manga Studio. One of the best simulations of pencil I've ever come across. So yeah, like there's not much help in being told you suck. But if you're repeatedly being told that you suck, then look into it, you know? Find somebody objective. If it's kind of funny how people kind of assume that they are never the problem. You know, like for example, if I'm getting told constantly that I suck, and I suck, and I suck, and I suck, and I suck, nobody ever explains why, but everybody says it. It's very arrogant of me to just assume that because they're not explaining to me why, that there's not a problem. When everybody has a problem with you, the problem is you. You know, like if everybody says that you suck, look into that. You know, kind of see maybe what the problem might be. Or here's a thought. Here's a crazy thought. Like, for example, if you're a YouTube personality and everybody is saying that you suck, hey, how about you ask people? Go like, hey, you know, I see that everybody is saying that I suck. Could we discuss why? You know, could we maybe discuss why? And I understand. It's hard to control your emotions sometimes. These things hurt. These things are hurtful. And being told that you suck is not the best way to be told. But, you know, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it went down. The fact that you whine over it or that you cry harassment is not going to change anything. So why don't you just, like... Here's the thing. I think that one of the main problems on the internet right now is that nobody is willing to be the bigger person. Like, let me explain. Like, for example, I get told that I suck, that I should die, that I should kill myself, and all that kind of stuff. And I just go and cry harassment and attack in return. I attack in return. I say that these are evil people, and I say that these people are mean, and I say that you know, you're mean, you're abusive, and all these kind of things. And okay, you know what? You're right. They are mean. They are being abusive. They're not being good people. But you know what? You can be a good person. You can do the right thing. You can be the bigger person and help solve the problem. And sometimes the solution is, you know what? Take the high road. What happened with taking the high road? What happened with, you know, just, okay, you know, I'm not going to pay attention to the fact that you said I suck, and why don't open the table for discussion? Hey, everybody's been telling me that I suck and that I should kill myself. Why don't we have a little talk about why I suck? I know it sounds difficult. I know it sounds hard. I know it sounds like something impossible to do, but somebody has to give. Somebody has to be the bigger person. And what I'm kind of trying to say here is, why can't it be you? Like, why can't it be that YouTube personality? Why can't it be that person that is crying on the internet that they're being abused. Why can't you be the bigger person? Why can't you be the one to take the first step in trying to make things better? You're the influential one. You're the one that has, like, all this power and all this audience and all these possibilities and people that listen to you. And, you know, I read something this weekend that was very interesting. I wasn't in agreement with the article. It was an article about Twitter and how Twitter is being, like Twitter is dying, but it's dying because of abuse. And basically what they said is that, you know, because of people being abusing other people on Twitter, Twitter is dying. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, the fact that abuse on Twitter is a problem. I do think that it is. But I think that the abuse is a symptom, not a problem. The abuse is a symptom. It's a symptom of bad management. You know, it is a problem. It should be solved, but it's a symptom. It's not the problem. The problem is that Twitter is not being well managed. The problem is actually poor management. Abuse is a symptom of that problem. You know, abuse would not be a problem if Twitter was well managed and they took care of that. So, you know, it's practically a matter of semantics, but still, you know, but yeah, in any case, okay, yeah, sure. Well, the article did say something that I liked a lot, and what the article said was that people don't just hurt other people because. Hurt people hurt people. You know, like, in order for somebody to want to hurt another person, they have to have been hurt. They have to have something wrong in their lives. They have to be hurt. I'm not taking away the possibility that some people are just complete psychos. Yes, of course, there are those. But most cases, the guy lashing out at you on YouTube, the guy saying that you suck, the guy saying that you should kill yourself, that you should, all those mean and hurtful things, those people have something going on. Those people have problems in their lives, and maybe that is just the symptom. You know, maybe that's just them dealing with it. And it's not, it's not healthy. It's not a good way of dealing with it. But again, you have the power. You are the YouTube celebrity. You are the influential person. You are the person that people listen to. This other guy insulting you on the internet probably has nobody to listen to them. They probably have like no way of the world listening to what they have to say. And this is just them lashing out. So how about if you are the bigger person? You know, it's just an idea. How about if you are the person to take that first step and kind of help things get better? How about if you are the person that's open to dialogue? And I don't know, maybe this is like the teacher in me, you know, the part of me that is a teacher. Maybe that's what I'm talking about here. But sometimes your students are just little sacks of shit, and you can't be a sack of shit to them in return. You have to just realize that they are younger, that they are less mature, and that they still have a lot to learn. So you don't engage. You let them act the way they want to act. You let them do whatever they want to do, and you try to help them grow. I know it sounds condescending, but why can't these people on YouTube, these people whining and crying abuse and all that kind of stuff, these people that open like crowdfunding campaigns and all this kind of stuff because the world doesn't agree with them, hey, how about if you take the first step? That was a very long rant about a bunch of stuff. Wow. Wonder how many subscribers I lost because of this. Like, okay, you know, how many people just listened to this and said, like, oh, fuck that shit, I'm out. But yeah, that is kind of the way I think about these things. That is definitely my thoughts. Those are, sorry, definitely my thoughts on the subject. And let's move it over here. Okay, now tree branches. One of my favorite things to draw. Yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on that subject, on, you know, how I feel about... Vaughn says that they didn't expect their question about online courses to take such a turn. Well, I hope you don't, like, feel bad about it or anything. I'm kind of just looking for subjects to talk about, so... I actually love your question because, you know, it just kept me talking there for, like, I don't know how long, but... That's the idea here, you know, to kind of get stuff to talk about. So, if it, you know, don't feel bad. I talk freely about these things. There's only two subjects I don't talk about, and that's religion and politics. I don't discuss religion and I don't discuss politics. So, you know, those are the only two things I won't discuss openly and in public. But other than that, you know, I'm very much an open book. So, you know, any topic goes with me, and I kind of love this whole thing of, you know, starting on one topic and suddenly we're talking about, you know, Twitter and YouTube celebrities and online harassment and all that kind of stuff, and suddenly we're like, hey, how did we get here? And I like that. You know, I don't really think this was politics in disguise, because I think that in order to discuss politics, you know, this is not like... Well, we discussed Twitter and Kickstarter policies, but I'm pretty sure you know what I mean when I say I don't discuss politics. You know, I don't discuss... actual politics, like how the country is run, or conflicts between countries and stuff like that. I don't discuss that kind of stuff. I don't get into that. That's really not my interest. I am not politically active, and I'm not religiously active either. So, you know, I do have opinions, of course, but I'm not willing to discuss them. I think both politics and religion are, you know, like so many people say, politics and religion are like your dick. It's good that you have one. I'm glad you enjoy it, but keep that thing to yourself. You know, nobody wants to see it. So yeah. Like Vaughn, I love that question. You know, I love that you made that question, and as you can see, I will talk your ass off if you give me a topic that just drives me in the right direction. So thank you for that. Thank you for that question. It really kind of pushed me in the right direction. So, that being said, next question. Where's our next question? Oh, great. Here we go. A technical question. I love these. Maldraw asks, on another topic, what's the biggest difference between Photoshop and Manga Studio? Okay, well, keep in mind that Manga Studio is not, like, my expertise or anything like that. You know, I'm not a Manga Studio expert. But, I think Manga Studio, as far as what, like, its intended purpose is, Manga Studio is specifically made to make comics in. It has a bunch of features and stuff in it, kind of geared towards helping you better make a comic. So it's a program that's more suited for comic art and comic assembly and You know, it's going to help you with the panels, and basically it's just geared towards that. Photoshop, on the other hand, well, Photoshop originally is photo editing software, so right from the start we're giving it a use that was not its originally intended use. I personally think that it has a lot to do also with style, with which kind of style you work with. If you're more into kind of clean comic art, kind of line art and that kind of stuff, or even manga, or manga influenced art, I think Manga Studio is a great fit. But if you're more into complex coloring and detailed illumination and those kind of effects, then Photoshop is a better option for you. That, of course, is my opinion, and do keep in mind that there are geniuses with both programs. So you're going to find that guy, that Manga Studio genius, that can just kick the ass of anybody in Photoshop. And at the same time, you're going to find that Photoshop genius that can just kick the ass of anybody in Manga Studio. So keep that in mind. I don't think one program does anything particularly... I don't think that any one program says does things particularly better than the other to make you go like, you know, if you have Photoshop instead of Manga Studio, that you have to buy Manga Studio now, otherwise your career is in jeopardy. No, I think that you can do most of what you need with Photoshop. I am personally a lot more comfortable in Photoshop, but I also think it has a lot to do with the fact that that's just the program I learned in. So, you know, normally we stick to the program we learned in. As long as it's not like a problematic program, as long as you're not like doing something like sticking to Flash or something like that, I don't think there's a problem. You know, if you learned in Manga Studio and that's the program you want to stick with, you're good. You know, Manga Studio is going to give you everything you need, and you're okay. On the other hand, if you learn in Photoshop like I did and you want to stick with Photoshop, you're good too. I primarily use Manga Studio because I love the way Manga Studio simulates pencil. It feels like I'm working with a mechanical pencil. So I think it combines perfectly with my Cintiq tablet in order to make me feel like I'm drawing with pencil. So that's what I use Manga Studio for. Other artists use Manga Studio. I've seen Lar de Souza use Manga Studio brilliantly. He loves it. He swears by it. So, you know, I've seen a lot of comic artists use it, and that's, I think, would be the difference between them. Yodel says, I'm glad you say manga properly, not manga. Manga? Who the fuck says manga? I have never heard anybody say manga. But, wow, okay. There is actually something to be said on that, Yodel. I speak Spanish, so that actually gives you... I don't know Japanese. I'm not even remotely close to knowing Japanese. I'm not learning Japanese. I'm not even trying. I'm trying to learn French. And don't ask me to talk in French because, you know, I'm trying to learn too much stuff at the same time. French, coding, Unity. So, like, I learned a little bit of French. Oh, okay, it gets mixed up because both Yodel and Van RPG are green in the chat room, so sometimes I get mixed up who said what. So anyway, you know, I learned a little bit of French, and then I kind of stopped. So, right now I know nothing of French. I know how to say cute cat, yes and no. And, you know, le chat mignon, oui, and no. So yeah, that's my French. Actually, I probably know a little bit more than that. But anyway, since I speak Spanish, certain things in Japanese are easier for me to pronounce. Because in Spanish, pronunciation in Spanish is a lot easier than pronunciation in English. And Spanish it's a complex language, but it's nowhere near as complicated as English, especially when it comes to phonetics. In Spanish, words, like letters, sound like the letter they are, with very few exceptions. Like H is silent, and sometimes a C sounds like an S, and sometimes it sounds like a K. That's about as complicated as it gets with Spanish. English, let's not even get into that shit. Like, English is a very complicated language. I love it. I love it. It is, as far as I understand, it is like the second or third language with the biggest vocabulary. So, right there, I mean, like, you gotta love it. You have a huge vocabulary right there. I love it because of that. So I do actually prefer English to Spanish. But anyway, knowing Spanish and the pronunciation of letters and stuff in Spanish, it helps me with Japanese. Because I'm not trying to pronounce these letters in the weird way they would pronounce them in English. I'm just trying to pronounce these letters the way they are. And sometimes that helps. So, you know, I read manga and it's manga, not manga or anything like that. You know, it's so that kind of helps sometimes. Okay, let's see. Did I have other questions pending? Okay, Yodel asked, wait, you can draw in Flash? Imagine that. You can. I've seen it. It sucks. Flash will help you do vectorial drawing. But again, it's not the best program for that. There are other programs that do it way better. So, like, yeah, you know, a curse upon you and your family if you use Flash. Flash is a blight on the internet, and it needs to die. And if you're using Flash, you are part of the problem, and you should feel bad. So, and like we were discussing before, I'm not abusing you, I'm just saying that you suck. So, go look into that. You know, it's not abuse. You just suck. So yeah, I hate Flash. I hate Flash, and yes, exactly, Yodel. Your program is bad, and you should feel bad, and your program is bad, and you are bad because you use it. You're bad in connection to it. Mao says it's better to draw in Flash than Illustrator, though. No, Mao, it's not actually. It's easier to draw in Flash than Illustrator, but that doesn't mean that it's better. You'll get better, more interesting, and far more technically sound vectorial illustration with Illustrator. Flash is just easier to use. So you're sacrificing a lot of possibilities for ease of use. And hey, don't get me wrong, I hate Illustrator. I do not like Illustrator, but I will be the first one to admit I do not like Illustrator because I'm not good at handling it. I think it's very complicated, I think it's a resource hog, but it is a damn fine program. It does everything you need it to do, and if you know how to handle it, then you can get far with it. It's way better than Flash for vectorial illustration. It's just more complicated to use. But then again, that's like saying that a 747 is more complicated to fly than jumping off a building. You know, there's a lot less stuff to do and a lot less stuff to handle when you jump off that building. But if you wanted to fly, a 747 is a much better option. Lothiu mentions GIMP. GIMP is cool because it's free, but that's pretty much what it's got going for it. I'm not going to bash GIMP. I love the fact that GIMP exists. and I do consider GIMP a viable option if you needed free software. But I think it's absurd when people say that GIMP is better than Photoshop. It is not. It is not. It is not even remotely close to being something that can replace Photoshop. It is not even close. Not even the same ballpark. If you don't have any money and you have to have it legal, then GIMP is a good option. Same thing goes with Krita. Same thing goes with Krita. Same thing goes with all those free image editing software programs. They are good options if you need something free and legal. But if not, don't fool yourself. These are not Photoshop replacements at any time, under any circumstance. Photoshop is king of the hill in this thing, and other programs other programs do have things that they do better than Photoshop, but they're very specific things. And like, for example, Manga Studio. I think Manga Studio handles pencils better than Photoshop. But that's it. That's it. It's a very specific thing, and I use it for that. But Photoshop is king of the hill. And if I had to choose, like I can only have one of the two, then Photoshop. Any day. I can also have a pencil in Photoshop and just adjust it until it feels almost as good as the one in Manga Studio. And I have a bunch of other stuff that Manga Studio doesn't have. So it's like, I was reading about 3D software. Like, I use Cinema 4D. And I was reading, okay, which one is the best 3D software? And it's like, the best 3D software is 3D Max. 3D Max does everything. Other 3D softwares do stuff better than 3D Max, but very specific things. If we're talking about which one is the overall best, it's 3D Max. Now keep in mind that I am not a 3D artist, so I might be just talking out of my ass here. So, don't write to me your comments saying that, Maya is better, or Lightwave, or whatever is better, or I don't know. I'm not a 3D artist. I don't care. But you get my point. You get what I'm trying to say. Photoshop is the best overall. And if you have to choose only one, I would definitely choose Photoshop. But since I don't, I can have several programs. Manga Studio is better for this pencil stuff. If I want to simulate techniques, if I want to simulate brushes and stuff like that, Painter is better. It's way complicated to use, but Painter simulates artistic techniques better. But, okay, you guys get my point. You guys get what I'm trying to say. Yodel says, I like how Flash is the jumping off of a building of flight. Yeah, I was kind of looking, okay, if Illustrator is a 747, what would Flash be? And then I thought about all the planes, and I was like, none of these serve as an example. Because they're all good. Like, I'm not a pilot. I don't know how to fly a plane. But I can't compare Flash to a Cessna, because I'm guessing flying a Cessna is quite alright. So yeah, Flash is jumping off a building. In my world. And if you use it, you should feel bad. And question yourself. And maybe be willing to consider the possibility that you suck. Big time. Wow, it's 11:10 and I didn't take a break. Well, let's just power through. I was going to take a break, but let's just power through this thing. Time flies when you talk as much as I do. It flies for me. Like, I don't know if you guys are sitting there going like, does this guy ever shut up? But then again, like, if you're here listening to me, I'm guessing Oh, it would be a lot more quiet if I could have music, but I can't, so I think it's my responsibility to talk and entertain you. So, okay, it's 11:10. That leaves us with half an hour on this broadcast. It doesn't look like we've been doing much, but we have actually had a productive morning here. It's just that, drawing these rocks and scenery takes time. And you know me, I love my details, so... Anyway, we do have half an hour left on the broadcast, so what's my next question? I will answer your next question now. Yes, people could mute me, but I'd rather they didn't. I have oh, no, actually, I don't think my opinions are any better than anybody else's, but Mao says it's good to have the company while drawing and doing homework. Yeah, that's what I use these... Even I'm using my own videos for this. Like, one of the main benefits of making these videos is these are 3 hours at least that I work without interrupting my own self. When you work, you get distracted very easily, and you stop for a multitude of reasons. Doing this, it's like 3 hours where it's much more difficult for me to stop. So, yeah, I watch Let's Plays a lot. My favorite Let's Player is Epic Name Bro. If you guys are into Dark Souls as I am, where it's kind of like a way of life. Dark Souls forever, bitches. You have to add the bitches at the end so it sounds more badass. Anyway, if you guys are into Dark Souls as much as I am, and you haven't watched Epic Name Bro, you're missing out. Like, you're just playing half the game. I think Dark Souls should come packaged with Epic Name Bro's YouTube channel. Epic Name Bro is easily one of the people that is most entertaining to watch playing Dark Souls, and he knows so much about it. He's actually talked with the developers. He's been directly involved with the guides for the game and stuff like that. He really, like, when this guy talks about the game, he really knows what he's talking about. He's not just making shit up. So like, I highly recommend his videos for anybody that is into Dark Souls. Also, if you're into Bloodborne, but I don't watch his Bloodborne videos because I don't have a PS4, so I don't play Bloodborne. But he also talks about Bloodborne, so there is that. There's also Vatividia, but he kind of dedicated himself far too much to Bloodborne, so I haven't watched him in a while because I'm not playing Bloodborne. But yeah, I kind of watch Epic Name Bro to keep me company while I work when I'm not doing this. Oh, you see, the interesting thing, Yodel, because you say that you're going to check it out, but you've never played any of those games. You can watch him, watch his videos on Dark Souls, but then don't, watch the most recent one. Just go back into his archives and watch more from the beginning. For example, the playthrough he's doing right now of Dark Souls is fucking amazing. Because it's like, Dark Souls is, how old is Dark Souls now? I think maybe it's 2-3 years old? Dark Souls? Maybe 3. I'm not sure exactly how old Dark Souls is right now. But this last playthrough that he's doing on Dark Souls is an in-depth playthrough where he's kind of, after all these years of playing Dark Souls and actually meeting and interviewing the developers and working on the game guide and having insider information on the game, he decided to do this playthrough kind of like with all the stuff that he's learned. And it's awesome because he plays through the game and he talks about it and about like different stuff that the game has and all that kind of stuff. So it's really awesome to watch, even if you haven't played the game. You know, you watch it and it's a fascinating game even if you're not playing it. And who knows, maybe watching it will make you want to play it. That's also a possibility. So, yeah, I highly recommend it. Ah, welcome back, Voltus. How was laundry? Okay. Someone needs to do it, okay. Oh, Vaughn, you prefer your, Vaughn says that they prefer their Let's Plays without the running commentary. That's fascinating, because I can't stand Let's Plays without commentary. And I think that's fascinating. I think it's fascinating because, you know, taste, you know, different. Hey, Pixie, what's up? Okay, you know what? We're almost done, so I'm just going to let you do that, okay? Yeah, we're almost done, so it's okay. She's looking very pretty today. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, Pixie, I need to see this side of the screen. Okay, I love, like, anybody that knows me knows that I love drawing trees. So that's why I have, like, 2 trees on either side, because I kind of definitely don't want to miss out on drawing trees. So, okay, we have 20 minutes left. I think I have, considering how much I've talked today, I think I have time for another question. So, fire away. Who has the next question? Probably our last. Wait. Let's see what we got. Yes, you know how it is. Pixie kind of decides after a while. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Time to pay attention to me. I can't refuse her, right, Pixie? What do I think Pixie would draw if she had thumbs? Pixie is like a super lazy cat. I don't think she would draw anything. I think she would just kind of like bite the pen a couple of times, which she's already done, and just leave it at that. She's not really a very active cat. Now, just to play along, what would she draw? What's up? I would like to think that Pixie would draw me. You know, we love each other so much, right, Pixie? We love each other so much. I would like to think that maybe she would draw me. But then again, maybe she'll just draw food. Or her bed. Or maybe she'll draw the computer getting killed, because I think she hates it. Sorry, I'm writing here. Yeah, I mean, since the broadcast is coming to an end, I'm getting some messages for makeup appointments this weekend, so I'm kind of like checking them out because What are you doing? You're like very... You're behaving very curiously today. What are you up to? Did you, like, conquer the tablet? Is that what's going on? Wait, no, this is the calculator. I didn't need this. As you can see, Pixie... No, why are you entirely on the tablet? Don't do that. Kind of need you to, kind of need you to move. Come on, Pixie. We still got 15 minutes left on the broadcast. Come on. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? Come on. Let me finish. I'm almost done. Okay, I'll just do this here, like on the little side. No, you're... Come on. Come on. Come on, Pixie. Any... This is very uncomfortable. What are you doing? I know the tablet is nice and warm, but... Well, you can't be in the middle. I'll just move it a little bit to the side here. I'll just work here. Why can't you just lay down here in front, like where you fit? Come on. Please. Pixie, come on. Just a little bit to the side. There we go. Great. You're not. What is up? Okay, I'll just make do. I know I should. Anybody that's thinking about telling me that I should discipline my cat clearly has no cats. By the way. She makes my life deliciously complicated. Don't look the other way. You don't have to ignore me. The thing is, I know the secret. I know what I would need to do in order to scare her away. Like, I know what needs to be done. And if I were to just rub my head against her belly, she will immediately run away to take a bath. Yeah, so if I start like Vaughn says that you know, they got their cat a nice basket, put it on the desk and some textured cloth, and that's where they sit. Oh yeah, I did that too. There's a bed, like right on that side, and a bed over there, and a bed over there, and a sofa over here, and a CPU over here. There's a bunch of places that Pixie could be right now, but no, she wants to be here. And it's kind of hard to not be flattered. Like, she just apparently wants to spend so much time with me. I mean, it's hard to just not have your heart melt. Right, Pixie? She's silent right now because she knows that she's not supposed to be there. So, you know, she knows that it's funny because she knows that she's not supposed to be there. So she thinks that just by ignoring me, you know, it's like, okay, I'll just ignore him and that's it. Right, Pixie? Don't ignore me. What? I'll bite your ear. Yeah, she just wants attention. She's here with the whole thing of like, I built this Twitch channel. It is mine. There we go. Come on, I'll hug you. I'll hug you while we work. Do you want to help? Oh, you can't. But now my face. It always happens. Now my face is filled with cat hair. Yeah, I know that she's the main reason people watch, just to see when she comes on. So, you know, she did build this Twitch channel. It should be the O and Pixie show, or it should even be the Pixie and O show, or just the Pixie show. Pixie and Friends. But art pays the rent. Oh, you enjoy that, do you? Give me those ears. There you go. What? What? Beautiful cat. Do love them. And it is a cold... What's going... What? No. You're... This is the pen. It is essential to my work. Hey, how about this hand? Look at this hand. Okay, there we go. I can do this. This is fine. This works. This works. So, we are now like less than 10 minutes away from ending the broadcast. Does anybody have any questions they want answered before we finish today's broadcast? Give us some final questions so we can close today's broadcast on a... Well, I mean, we closed today's broadcast with Pixie, so there's really no better way. But if anybody wants to ask anything else before we go. Now, where are you going? What are you doing? I know it's cold, but like you can just be in a less... Why you're shifting to the right, like ever so slightly. Don't think I don't notice. Ah, hello, Pixie. I'm gonna move you a little bit to the right. There we go. Okay. So, question in the chat room from Yodel. What do you say to new Patreons? I say, first of all, thank you for your support. It means a lot to me. And second, well, there's plenty of stuff for you to check out in the Patreon, in the the section that is exclusive for Patreons. But if you just wait a week, there's going to be a lot more. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your patronage, I guess, would be. And I hope to make it worth your while. I hope to make it... Come on, Pixie. Yeah, look, I have another hand. Let's go to this one. No, pause over there. So yes, I thank you for your patronage, and I hope to make it worth your while. That would be what I would say to new patrons. There's a lot of stuff I have to do in that Patreon, and one of them is to make a new Patreon video. You know, for the page and all that. But you know, we've talked about that before. Give me a week, and I'll give it the attention it deserves. And next semester, lesson learned, I'm definitely not taking as many classes. So, 5 minutes and counting. Final question of the day. What have we got? Who's going to give me the final question? Oh, come on, Pixie. As you can see, what we're doing now is just a labor of patience. Ah, okay. What am I going to eat for lunch? That's a valid question. Last night I made pasta with carbonara sauce and little chopped up hot dogs in it. And I didn't eat all of it, so I've got leftovers, and that's gonna be my lunch. That's gonna be my lunch. Pasta carbonara with chopped up hot dogs and iced tea. Not the most healthy or nutritious lunch, but it's what I got. It's what I got. Who knows? I'm not exactly a food critic here, so yes, Mao nails it with the last question, and with that, our broadcast comes to an end. It's time to start saying goodbye. Oh yes, Voltus, I agree. It's a tasty lunch, not nutritious, but tasty. And you know, I normally prefer my pasta sauces to be white. Wow, that sounded racist. But you guys know what I mean. Like, if you know about food, you know that basically with pasta you've got red sauces and white sauces. Red sauces are tomato-based. White sauces are like dairy-based. I prefer white sauces. You know, carbonara and bechamel and these sauces are like, I prefer these. Of course, I also love red sauces. You know, Napolitana, Bolognese. I also like these sauces. By the way, to anybody watching that is now thinking, oh, this douchebag is trying to do an Italian accent, no, I'm not. I'm actually just saying them in Spanish, and that's it. I'm pretty sure that's not the way you pronounce them in Italian. So don't think I'm some douchebag just trying to go here like I know Italian too, Italiano. No, I don't. I don't. Not even close. I know nothing of Italian. I just know Spanish, so I say them in Spanish, and it sounds kind of similar if you don't know Italian. So yeah. I am not a douche. And of course, now that the broadcast is over, Pixie goes away. Because she's like, I have no reason to be here anymore. People aren't going to be watching. Bye. And there you go. That is my life. Yodel says, this douchebag is trying to do it in a Spanish accent. Well, yes, that is true. I am doing it in a Spanish accent, but the thing is, I can speak Spanish with the best of them. So, there's that. And then Voltus goes, how you doing? Yeah, how you doing? Italian is a beautiful language, but I'm not going to be... Italian is a beautiful language, but I'm not going to be learning it anytime soon. But hey, you know, maybe if I get back to studying my French, I'll try to butcher the French language a little bit for you guys. I think Voltus speaks French, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, Voltus speaks French. I might be totally mistaken here. I might be talking out of my ass. But I think Voltus, if I'm not mistaken, Voltus speaks like a bunch of languages. Italian, French, German. What am I missing here, Voltus? English. Of course. I think I'm missing more, right? Je ne parle pas français. That's it's probably horrible. There's probably some French dude watching this right now just foaming at the mouth. I understand that French people are really, really pissed off when you speak their language poorly. Then again, that can just be like a stereotype. But I understand they really don't like it. So, you know, maybe that's not true, maybe they don't mind, but I understand that they really don't like it when you speak their language poorly. Oh, okay, so Voltus speaks all those things I said and some dialects. Wow. Oh, man. I speak Spanish and English, and that's it. And the worst French you will ever hear. It's not something to be proud of, boys, but it is what it is. And look, we did finish this tree, because I'm going to make that into a little hole. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to put in that hole. But, okay. So, there we go. Let's check this out. Wait, let's save. So now it's going to save, and that's going to take a minute. Okay. There we go, there we go. Let's wait for it to save. So, this is the image that we've got so far. It doesn't look like it, but it was a productive morning. It was very productive, actually. Check it out. We got... Today we produced all this scenery. All the scenery that you see here was what we did today. We did this tree, all these rocks. There's going to be a pool of acid underneath them. And also, like here, you can see in this character, I added a lot of bones and skeletons to it, like a lot of messy stuff. Last broadcast, we didn't have any of the skeletons in between his legs and stuff like that, so I think it looks a lot better now with like the extra added skeletons and all that. And as you can see, we completed all this part of the scenery. Tomorrow, we will either be drawing this part of the scenery, or, depending on how I feel tonight, I might actually just do this part. And tomorrow, we will draw the dragon. So, you know, because I think it's about time we started wrapping this up and drawing the dragon itself. So maybe I'll get some extra work done tonight or something like that. And okay. I see in the chat room that Yodel asks Voltus if he lives in Switzerland then. And I think you hit the nail on the head there. Because Yodel says that that's the only country where you have to learn French, Italian, and German as a normal thing. So, okay, Pixie, do you want to say goodbye? Here's Pixie. We're saying goodbye. You okay? Okay, let's say goodbye. So anyway, my name is Abnormal. This has been the Ministry of Let me try that again. My name is Abnormal, and this has been the Ministry of Abnormality Twitch broadcast for October 26th of 2015. The time is 11:44 a.m. -5 Greenwich Meridian time. Tomorrow we will be here again at 9 a.m. Keep in mind that is -5 GMT. We'll be here again tomorrow to keep on working on our image. And that's about it for today. I had a great chat today, guys. Thank you for all those questions. I had a lot of fun. It was a very productive morning. Be sure to have some questions for tomorrow, and I'll see you all then. I hope I can see you. Thanks again. Goodbye. Let's do the thing. And the thing is going to be a cup on Pixie's head. There you go. Woo! Okay. Now we just wait.